eagle vision. In the internal martial arts, we use a different way of looking. Basically, it's the way that eagles see their prey, or the way that reptiles see in general, especially snakes. There's a big correlation between birds and snakes, of course, in nature. A lot of people think that if they focus upon something, they'll see it better. Well, of course, if you're painting or you're writing to someone, you have to focus upon what your pen's doing. When you're fighting against someone, it's a totally different matter. In fact, there's an old Chinese saying that I like to remember, and it goes something like, if you look, this is a direct translation, you will lose. In other words, if you focus upon something, you will lose, because it takes time to focus upon something. So, for instance, punch is coming here, I have to turn, look at it, and then decide what I'm going to do. But if I'm using eagle vision, punch comes here, pow! I react to it without looking at it, because I can see it. You can see much more using your firstly peripheral vision and later eagle vision. Eagle vision is not, well, it's a sort of peripheral vision, but it's much more advanced than just using your peripheral vision. A lot of people don't even know that they can, when I'm looking at the camera here, I can focus upon the camera. But here's my, if I then look to my sides, it looks like I'm looking at the camera now, but I'm not. I'm looking out here now. And you have almost 180 degrees vision. Now I can see the two windows out here. I can see the trees moving out of the windows over here. I'm not focusing upon them. I couldn't tell you, maybe, I know the trees are green, but if it was something else, I probably couldn't even tell you what exact color it was, but I can see the object moving. And that's all you have to do when you're using eagle vision. Because it's not just seeing out here and then, oh, there's something coming here, I must do something with it. Eagle vision goes much deeper than that. It goes right into a subconscious or internal level. But first of all, of course, we have to start off training our peripheral vision in order to not first look at something and then do something. In all of our training methods, it's very difficult sometimes teaching people to get out of this habit of firstly looking and then doing. Because we're so used to doing that in our daily lives. We want to pick up a cup, we look at it, pick it up, don't we? One of the training methods I tell people is, next time you pick up a cup to make a cup of tea or something, don't look at it. I'm just looking here, I can see the cup down here, I'll put my hand down and pick it up. You might get a couple of broken cups to begin with, but you'll get the hang of it. And you'll find that pretty soon you'll literally be able to go and pick up the cup without going, oh, where's the cup? Oh. Light switches as well. You're going out of the room at night, look at the door. You know the light switch is there. You can see it basically out of your peripheral vision. First of all, do it slowly, but then get the speed up. When you're walking out of the door, pa! Turn the light switch on. Every time I turn the light switch off, I do it that way. I've broken many light switches and caused many short circuits in my houses. Doing that, because it's, they're not the hardiest of things. If you hit them too hard, even with a finger, because your fingers can get very powerful, of course. And using your peripheral vision, you do gain a whole lot more power, because you're not thinking, oh, where is it? Oh, I'm going to hurt my finger. It's just, bah! Turn off that light switch. That's just one of the training methods that we use. There are others, of course, using partners. So we have to get used to retrain ourselves I wouldn't advise driving a motor car using a peripheral vision. Please don't tell anyone that Earle Montague said to do that when you have an accident. But however, I quite often do that myself. You're just driving along, you don't look at the corner. You can see the corner perfectly well, just turn it and just follow the car, or don't sort of look to where you're going. That's what I do sometimes. It's exactly the same thing, retraining your mind to see what it really can see rather than what it focuses upon. It's the reverse I guess of tinnitus. A lot of people have tinnitus. That's that ringing in the ears. Everyone in the world has ringing in the ears. It's just normal feedback as through an amplifier. It's just that most people, luckily enough, your brain filters out that feedback and only allows you to hear the noise that you want to hear, what you're listening to. But we all have this feedback, the ringing in the ear. Some people's brains can't do it, so they have tinnitus or ringing in the ears. And they want to get rid of that peripheral sound. But it's the opposite when you're trying to learn about eagle vision. We want to gather, not the sound so much, but the vision. We want to gather the vision that we don't normally see. It's much quicker. Someone's literally throwing a punch, you've already seen the move. And in the internal martial arts, of course, I'm not going into the way of fighting just yet, but in the internal martial arts, one of the most important things is don't wait for the attacker to move. Hit him as he moves firstly, and then even before he moves, when he's even thought about it. Every mind puts out electrical signals using the internal training methods, push hands, etc. Small sensor, large sensor. We can train ourselves to literally know what the person's going to do when they think about it, rather than when they do it. So the golden rule is, BOW! Then you can turn to your partner, or to your attacker rather. So we move as the opponent moves, not waiting to block something. That's two moves, you see. And we use our peripheral vision. If we didn't use peripheral vision, we couldn't do it. Because we'd first of all have to look at what the opponent's doing. Never fight. The golden rule with using eagle vision is never fight the peripheral that's being poked out towards you. Someone's throwing a punch at you. What most people in most schools are taught is, look at the punch, block that punch, re-attack, and so on. You'll get beaten doing that every time. That's why so many so-called hardstylists get beaten by someone who literally just rushes at them, like a grappler or something. They get beaten because they're so used to looking. As soon as you look, it's in your face, you've been defeated. Someone rushes at you, bah! You react without looking. Then you can, as you're throwing a volley of attacks upon that attacker, then you can turn your face and look at whatever you want. You still stay in eagle vision, of course, but you can turn your head then, but once you've defeated the person. So that's the first area. That's the first door into getting into eagle vision. That's just the physical part of it, learning to retrain your mind to see everything that happens around you. An excellent training method that I like to teach my students is, I get them to focus upon, for instance, okay, I've got the camera here. I look over here and I see we've got a set of congas here. This room's full of musical instruments, actually. For those of you who know me, we have a really excellent, even though I do say that so myself, blues and jazz band with my children and myself, and there's musical instruments everywhere. Anyway, we've got a set of congas over here. I can actually turn my head and look at the congas. I'm physically looking at them now. That's what I tell people to do. I even get them to turn. Might be standing up or something, or it might be a tree, for instance. So a tree, you might be outdoors, you might focus upon a tree over there. I'm looking at the congas. Now, without turning my head to look back to the camera here, I tell people, okay, now Look at the camera. Okay, I'm now looking at the camera.